comment from Tom Pike 6078. Please do a quick video for firing pin removal. So I thought I'd go ahead and do a quick video and show you how to do that for the Beretta Storm Carbine. First thing you want to do, of course, for working on any firearm is make sure that it is unloaded. So we'll go ahead and remove the magazine. It's out. You can see it's empty. See the chamber is free and clear. So first step for disassembly is you want to do what we just did. Go ahead and cock the hammer back. Go ahead and put it on safe so you don't accidentally drop the hammer. The disassembly pin for the Storm Carbine is right here. You just push in and pull it out on the other side. That allows you to separate the two main components. And we're going to be focusing on the upper of the bolt assembly. So to remove the bolt at this point, just go ahead and slide that back. Remove your charging handles, and then you can slide the bolt all the way out. Okay, so just a quick refresher course on the bolt here. Of course, we have the bolt. It slides over the barrel. We have the breech face in there, the firing pin. It is a hammer-fired weapon. The firing pin is right here. This is our ejector. This is the extractor. This is our recoil spring. This spring clip here, you need to remove that. And to do that, you just simply lift up on both sides. And that lifts off. And you can remove the recoil spring. These will probably just fall out, so you have your ejector and the extractor. Okay, now at this point, this is the safety that prevents the firing pin from being able to go forward unless the hammer or the trigger is pulled. And so when you push that, that allows the firing pin to be able to travel the full distance to be able to strike the cartridge. So this little plunger goes through this entire section here. The firing pin actually goes through it, and so we need to remove that to be able to remove the firing pin. But to remove that, you need to push the firing pin in to the limit of its travel, and for it to be able to do that, there's a small pin right there. So you need to pop that pin out, and it should pop out pretty easy. So if not, you may need to get a punch and lightly tap it out. But once that's out, you will be able to then push the firing pin past its normal stop. So everything is spring loaded here. So a couple things that you're going to need. You need a punch or something that you can use to push in on various parts because that recesses in. It pushes in about a ½ inch. And a pair of smooth pliers, because you're basically going to be, here I'll show you this. The firing pin, when you push it all the way in, that will release this. However, everything will get kind of bound up. So the firing pin, when you push this in on the back, it will protrude out of the front. And you'll want to then grab a hold of that with the pliers. So we'll go ahead and you want to hold this down at the same time. So kind of push down on that to cover it with your finger. Push in on the firing pin. You need to push down and push in, and then you can see the firing pin. See where it, point it out here. See where it protrudes right there? Get this more centered. So you want to grab a hold of that. And then keep a hold. And then at this point, you can remove the plunger, and it's got a spring. If the spring doesn't come out, you might need to get something, these little skewer type things, or like a toothpick would work, to kind of pick that out. Now once this is out of the way, then you can just let go of the pliers, and the firing pin will come out of the back along with its rebounding spring. So the way that this all kind of goes together inside the bolt is the rebound spring goes over the firing pin like that, and it would be in the channel. That pin that we took out right there goes in this channel here, and that's what keeps it from going too far in or being able to come out. this piece here, and it's, if you notice, it's got a little recess in the back, and it's open on one side. The open end will face forward, so it'll go in. Of course, it's black, so it's hard to see, but you see that little recess? That's actually where the spring goes. The spring would go in just like that. But that little recess would go toward the front of the bolt when you go to reassemble it. But the firing pin basically goes into this recess like so. And this plunger going up and down, when the plunger's up, the firing pin can't go forward. Plunger would be pushed down, it would allow the firing pin to go farther forward, and that would fire the weapon. So this is how you would remove everything. Putting it back in is just the opposite. Of course, you have to align everything, and that gets to be the little bit of a challenging part. Having 3 hands is very helpful, but I've only got the 2, so we'll go ahead and give it a shot. The first thing you want to do, this little flat section here, and that little pocket needs to be facing, with the bolt in this configuration, needs to be facing down. And if you notice, there's, let's see if I can get a good visual of that. See how that goes in there? That will go into the slot in that plunger. So we'll go ahead and put it in. You need to make sure it doesn't turn. Push it all the way in. Grab a hold of the pin. Put our plunger in. Make sure it goes up and down. Then hold it down. Release the firing pin. Firing pin should go through. And if it's in right, that'll hold the firing pin. And if you push down on it, it will allow it to come out a little bit. So once that's in, then if you look through there, you can see that little piece move. And that's where you want to put that pin so that it goes into that pocket. And sometimes it's actually easier to kind of use a pair of pliers just to hold it. Tweezers would work as well. It just has to be something where you can grip it strong enough to keep a hold of it so it doesn't fly out. And there you go. Firing pin's installed. At this point, go ahead and flip this over on this side. This is the side the ejector would go on. So whatever side you have covered up, that's where you put your ejector. The ejector sits in that spot right there. It's got a little where it kind of goes in, and that goes into the little pocket that's down in there. And then in operation, that would be able to go forward and back. And then on the other side, that same little part where it kind of goes in, goes toward the middle. Put your recoil spring on, your spring, and everything seems to be working there. Align the rails on the bolt to the rails on the upper receiver. Slide it in. Align the hole on the bolt into the hole on the side of the receiver. And put your charging handles in. In this case, I've got 2 charging handles. It usually only comes with 1. I purchased an extra charging handle so I could have ambidextrous handles. And slide it forward. Once it goes past that hole right there, those are retained. Align the rails in the lower with the rails in the upper. Slide it together and put your assembly pin back in. And we're reassembled.